So you should be able to now hear me. There you go. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Chocolate. Trousers. Monsters. Users. Dazzlers. Dusting. Creative. Right. So I am. So this is basically going to be a test, but it's also about mental health in a way, and it may resonate with you if you've been through past trauma, or going through, or recovering, searching, healing from those elements. So with that, I just thought I would talk about a subject that sort of is a somewhat of a response, I feel, and this is basically opening up, I guess, your eyes if you've never understand this type of elements of I guess trauma from dysfunction, complex family orientation, and you're trying to sort of navigate the day. Normally you have this in your head, and of how you've been basically cognitively or programmed whilst under the roof of the individuals, and it could be from, you could get trauma from not just family, it could be partners, it could be something unrelated or one-off, but this is basically a subject about, this is about yelling. This is one of those things. It's when you're walking around and you have triggers occasionally with the environment, can be very triggering. Where any work, any place, even just a walk in nature, something could come up, and that could be enough to change your ability to, your mood basically changes, flips. Your stomach, your body starts to feel a bit ruggy, and sometimes if you've got IBS from being in so stressful environment, you feel like you need to go to loo, and you keep wanting to go to loo, and even if you've left that environment and you've had the triggers, and sometimes just having it back in your thoughts and your mind, and keep continuing the process of remembering that small scenario. And then the annoying thing about, because we're so trying to prepare for any encounters in our heads so much, that we have a very hard time to let go of that and move on. So this is about how people can yell. This is, I'll go through the whole script. So this is like a test of stories, and when I go through a story, I'm going to have like a script or a paragraph in a bit, and I'm going to basically do the story. Maybe just one chapter, or a part of a chapter, and that would be one video. And then at some point I'm going to figure out how to add these videos to Spotify and see what happens there. I've never done that, so that is my goal. Is to make a story, and it'll lead. It'll have a direction of some sort, and it's gonna be fun. And so here is like a picture of a tree with nice sky behind it, and some field and lush plain. There'll be some music I will be adding to the editing part, and I'm going to try and figure out how to, I guess, use that type of music. So this is basically a test, whilst it's also talking about what I'm going through as well, which could also sort of validate what you feel. This is probably going to validate you, and I understand, and this triggers you. Maybe just soothe yourself, breathe, and move on to maybe some music very helpful for your mind, and it makes you want to move and want to feel active, but also sometimes it makes you want to just lie down and just enjoy the vibes. Yeah, so I'm gonna start. Right. So, the urge to yell your lungs out when all forces around you are closing in. The demand to yell when a car reversing and could hit an object. Yelling is not a tool to be used on people like objects. They have every right to be spoken to with natural tone and volume. Unless you're in a working environment requiring yelling as a form of communication, sports, or military settings, for example. Arguments lead to many words that are so broken, yet the disassociation kicks in, and where you drift to a health fantasy sometimes, that you have to change your perceptive idea and tuition, even though you're right and they're wrong. This is part of the argument. God, they are wrong. The amount of times arguments drag in false information, gaslighting, and a black and white point of view. A closed mind is a toxic landscape that leads to more hurricanes. Yelling, the echoes, the room, and the sounds, the heart racing, the the pressure storming in the mind, and head yelling. The voice cold, yet with an immature nature, degrading, controlling the yelling, making the room turn from a simple scene in a place into a battlefield. Even away from the landscape of dense, the aftermath of the yelling persists. Those who externalize seek others to break down what happened, and this can reinforce more of the same, but leading to others to being uncomfortable. Internalizers seeking an escape. A land and storm, a base with walls which can possess this internally. How do I change? Or they were wrong? Or all the time in the room alone? Suffocation. The heart, the breath, the ragged mind racing, avoiding the body's demands for relaxation and oxygen. Some these leading to darker dangers, sometimes able to stabilize and shrug it off. But the damage, the yelling, the pain, the fracturing, and the chisel starting to chip both types of people, making them become roles, trauma responses, and again, the echo of the after effect of lingering over days. Whenever the subject or trigger closes to it, that is where the mind rushes to. This is where the body starts to have cognitive decisions to start looking out for these threats to try to avoid it as a response. This can result to a lot of people pleasing, even though the individual seeks to be able to do tasks without needing to double, triple check they have done it right. And so perfectionism is the next boulder that smacks your face. And this all starts from a yell, a tool, and many weaponry of communication can be used for good and for bad. And I hope you enjoy this short, robust testing and have a good rest of your day. Bye now.